You talked a bit about in your keynote this morning about challenges around VNFs and VNFs as a stepping stone to lifecycle management of network service. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Part of what we're seeing today is that we spend most of our time actually managing the low-level VNFs, which are individual network elements. I think one of our challenges is moving away from that and describing a service that can be automated and deployed automatically. And so some of the tools that are coming out in the environment are now becoming to a point where we can actually start automating these network services. And I think that's kind of what we're looking for is enabling services individually. And there's a word that's been tossed around in the industry a lot is network slicing, and we see this as a way to deliver a network slice is by delivering an individual network service that's composed of a slice.
And you also talked about some challenges around proprietary solutions, brownfield environments, and the fact that people might be risk averse or hesitant to change. Could you touch on that as well?
Yeah, I think there's certainly in our environment we have many vendors delivering individual products. All of them today are proprietary. The interfaces that they deliver are non-standard. There's no interoperability between these things. And so what we see is a lot of custom development of these environments. Again, risk aversion has been classic in this environment. Our goal is to deliver full 5 nines or as many more nines reliability as we can in the network. Any change we introduce in this environment can potentially disrupt that, and so we try to prevent that as much as possible. And our people's jobs are on the line when something happens, and so they're definitely averse to taking any risk in this environment. However, the opportunities that some of these changes would enable, both in terms of efficiency and agility of delivering new services, I think will necessitate us taking some risks. And so over time, I think we will have to adapt to potentially taking risks that might affect some of our reliability, but I think we'll have to develop tools and mechanisms that will limit those risks.
And you also talked about the importance of re-architecting VNFs to be cloud native. If you could talk about Verizon's approach and process there?
Yep. So today we get most of our VNFs are delivered as in monolithic environments that don't have any clear interfaces, don't have clear exposure of what they do in the environment. So what we're looking at is the decomposition of these services from our vendors. And in order to do that, we actually expect that we will interact with our vendors much more closely and be part of their development process and be able to expose what we call microservices into this environment such that we can actually integrate these services and deliver them and compose them into a much larger service environment.
And looking ahead at 2018, what are some of the challenges and opportunities for service providers and the industry at large around automation?
So we see lots of activity going on in this space. The Etsy Mano organization has delivered some initial set of their specifications. We're seeing the applications correspond or comply with these specifications. So we see from the standardization perspective a lot of opportunity there. And then one of the things that we kind of find most interesting is that there's the open source world is actually adapting and proposing some solutions that could certainly be usable in this environment. And so we're closely monitoring the open source projects, and I think there's certainly opportunity that they will actually deliver a useful automation environment in this time.
Well, thanks so much for your time, Fred. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much, and thank you.